Yes, the best made plans of mice and men, they say, don't they?
Yes.
Presentation aids, we use them all the time, and PowerPoint is probably the most common one today. Years ago we used to use foils and slides and all sorts of things, but today PowerPoint's the name of the game, and it's very good when it works. It's not coming up for some reason or other. I don't quite know why. I'll fiddle around with it later. With visual aids, there are two types of pictures that you see. They're called landscape and portrait. Portrait's up and down, landscape's that wide. Now, just use your own eyes. Look at a spot, anywhere. Don't move your eyes and just look around what's in your vision. Well, I can tell you now, your vision will be wider than it is higher, because that's the way our eyes are. And that's why landscape is more attractive and more appropriate when you're giving a presentation. The second issue that I wish to bring to your notice is don't put too much data on. I got a couple of examples on this. I put the mission statement, I think it was, on a slide, and I showed how too much data, you just can't read it. The trick is to have just a handful of words, and it's far better to just work with a handful of words than an awful lot. People can't grab it whilst you're talking, so try to keep it minimal. The next important point is colour. Now again, I had examples of different types of colour with different backgrounds. You will find a lot of them use blue background with, say, yellow. I had one place that I went to and they used a blue background and they used black for the writing. You couldn't read it, and if you were a bit of a distance away, it was impossible to read. Just crazy. So you've got to look at the combinations and you need to change it. Again, I had a few copies there for you to see and you experiment with it. Everybody uses colour today. Occasionally throw something black and white in. It'll suddenly make people look at it again. Black and white, if anybody does photography, they will know that the various camera clubs will encourage you to take black and white pictures. Not all colour all the time. Something that a lot of people use is one of these things. It's called a pointer. It's a laser beam. One of the problems they have, now I haven't got the stuff up on the screen at the moment. Oops, did I put it in? I must have put it in. See, we're rushing too much. A lot of people do the pointer. Oh, no wonder I haven't put the batteries in. That would help, wouldn't it? Don't worry, I haven't got time. But what they do is when they put the pointer up, they will go round, 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 like that. Don't do that. That's a no-no. People aren't going looking at it like that. Just point to it at the beginning, and that's enough. And hold the pointer at that point. That will keep their attention, and it goes very, very well. One of the things that we use today, and we need it in this room, is a thing called a microphone. Hopefully my microphone is working. That's hopeful. I've got something working, at least. Now, one of the things people do, and I know one person that I've watched, you've got to remember that the microphone has got to be near your mouth. And I've seen people who turn around and they look over there and they leave the microphone over there, or they put it down here and let you hear their stomach rumbling. But it really has got to go with you. Wherever you are, it's got to go. That's why you often see the singers take it off and walk around with it so that they can keep the microphone close. You need to. Now, there are different types of microphones. Some of them will take it from over here. Some, you've got to be right on top of it. It varies. Something that I like about this room The very first time I came, I sat right at the end, typical, want to see what goes on. When I've got a hearing problem, as you probably noticed. And one of the problems I had was, I think it was Monica was sitting up that end, and I couldn't hear her, because she's got a very sweet voice. But I couldn't hear her. So what you notice now, I always sit in the middle. You probably haven't noticed, but that's what I do, so that I can hear both ends. Right? Now, there's another idea, and this one I like, and I think, with all due respect, I think it should be in this group. You often get speakers, and they say, "Oh, I don't need a microphone. I'll do this," and they start off loud, and they go quieter and quieter and quieter, and then you lose them, and you lose them because they're going too quiet and you're battling to hear them. This is a good way. This is just a little device like this. Plug it in. You can put it on your belt, like so. You clip it on like so, and when you need it, they just switch it on. Hopefully. Now you should be hearing me coming through that. Okay, I've turned up the right speaker on there, and that is a better way because the people can move around, and if they want to wave their hands and do whatever, they can do it. If you have a guest speaker, this is a good way, because if they say they don't want any microphone, put one of these on them, and then you get to hear them. Finally, don't be frightened of using these things. It needs a bit of practice, but they're good. And these sort of techniques will help to improve the speech, particularly in a room like this, which is very big. And you get a bit of vibration or whatever. So suggest trying to use the microphone, get used to it, get used to these things, practice makes perfect.